Hi, this is Richard Kinky Friedman, and you are listening to the podcast Fascination Street.
Yeah, AV in your ears. That's Ambush Being giving you this audio visual down the most interesting street in the world with my boy Steve. Fascination Street, you already know. Let's get it when you whip in the Fascination Street. What do you?
Welcome back, Streetwalkers. This episode is with Joey Canyon and Kelly Kantz. They are the CEO and president, respectively, and co-founders of the new streaming service called Canyon Star TV. In this episode, we get a little bit of a background on both Joey and Kelly and kind of what brought them together and why they created this new family-friendly streaming channel. We talk a little bit about some of their programming where they have family entertainment, movies, classic movies, documentaries. They have music videos, concerts, variety shows. They even have cooking shows and sports shows. Canyon Star TV is based on the need for a channel that you can set your entire family in front of and not be afraid about what's about to happen on the TV. You're not going to have to reach over and cover your kids' eyes or cover your kids' ears or be offended yourself. Canyon Star TV is all about that classic family-friendly programming that we all used to watch when we were little kids. Joey and Kelly also throw a pitch out there because they're still looking for more programming. They tell you what kind of programming they're looking for, some of the requirements, and where you could send submissions. At the end of this episode, I told Joey and Kelly that I was super excited to go load Canyon Star TV onto all my TVs, and that's what I'm going to do. And while I'm doing that, this is my conversation with the co-founders of Canyon Star TV, CEO Joey Canyon and President Kelly Kantz.
Prepare to be fascinated. Prepare to be fascinated. Prepare to be fascinated.
Welcome to Fascination Street Podcast, Joey Canyon and Kelly Kantz. How you guys doing today?
Great.
Oh, good, Steve.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely my pleasure. So what I like to do, folks, is I like to get to know the guests from where they started. It helps us get to understand how they became who they are and why they're doing the cool things they're doing. So if you guys don't mind, Joey, where were you born and raised, man? Where'd you grow up?
I was born in California, north of Los Angeles in the Santa Clarita Valley. Pretty much back then was out in the country, way out in the country. And if you told people where you lived, they didn't know where you lived because back then nobody knew. But now it's a whole different story. And so I was raised in pretty much kind of ranch land country.
So you grew up as a cowboy?
Well, a wannabe cowboy back then because we didn't have horses, but at a young age, baseball was my first love. Started playing baseball at 11, and I started playing guitar and singing at 11 as well, but started singing at like 8 years old. So,
Oh, wow.
I had two loves at the time.
Rad. Kelly, where were you born and raised? Where'd you grow up?
I'm a Dallas, Texas girl.
What?
Yeah, I'm a Dallas girl. I grew up in partially Dallas and then Irving, Texas.
Oh, which are basically the same thing, aren't they?
Pretty close.
Born and raised in San Antonio myself, so holler at a fella Texan.
That's right. Once a Texan, always a Texan.
What I'm talking about. What did you want to be when you grew up? What was the plan?
I don't know. I think I always just wanted to have fun. So whatever I did, I wanted to have fun. It started out going to college doing journalism, and then halfway through college, I got offered a job doing marketing and PR for a chain of Western wear stores in the Dallas area. Did that. Then the owners of Dallas Alley, which was 9 nightclubs, all with a different genre, the owners started coming up and visiting me at one of the Western wear stores in the West End downtown and offered me a job doing marketing and PR for all their nightclubs and the VIP concerts. So I did that and then helped Patrick Gotch start RFD TV the first time out of the Livestock Exchange building in Fort Worth, Texas. Didn't work. Lasted about a year and a half. Did a few other things. And then when he started RFD TV again, went back.
What did your parents think when you got into the nightclub promoting business?
I don't think anybody really cared. They just knew I was having a good time, and I was having a good time.
Joey, what did you want to be when you grew up, man?
I wanted to be a professional baseball player.
How'd that work out?
I'm a left-handed pitcher. I was a left-handed pitcher, and I was an all Southern California pitcher through high school and college. And I was one of the top pitchers in Southern California at one time. And then through it all, like I said, I was playing guitar and so on and so forth. By my semi-pro years of baseball, I injured my rotator cuff. So my career was over. But I was very fortunate because I love music and singing so much that I just went from one stage to another stage. And I moved to Colorado, and really my professional career started there. And it's been quite a wild ride since then.
Why Colorado?
I had an offer to a job that was unrelated to entertainment. And, you know, when you're a young man of 23, you want to experience everything and all. And I went to college not far from Colorado in Nebraska. We would go down there and play baseball. And so I always knew I liked it down there. So when I got the offer, I said, sure, I'll go. And the first month I was there, I knew I wasn't going back to California.
Really?
Yeah, most of my life was spent in Colorado.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So, Kelly, you started with, did you say RFD? What was it called?
Yeah, RFD TV, built RFD TV up. We had another network, worked on that one too, and left there. And one of the men on the board had some networks and said, hey, why don't you come over here and help me build these? So I did U2 America, Biz TV, Biz Talk Radio. We did a couple of OTT platforms. And then one day decided, I don't really want to work for someone else, and quit, started my own Kantz Media and started connecting people and doing my own thing. And Joey and I have known each other. We met through RFD TV. He had a TV show he wanted to put on. And I said, I think it's great. I'll put it on. And we've stayed friends for many, many years. And he's wanted to do this network. Well, he can explain how he wanted to do this. But I think both of us always believed in each other. He always did a great job, and we get along really great.
Joey, what was this TV show that you had in mind that you pitched to Kelly all these years ago?
I was in Colorado, and I was gearing up to fly to Nashville like I did many times to record. And I had an idea after watching TV in my living room and with the TV muted, and I'm playing guitar like I did a lot and watching TV and trying to find something to watch. And finally, I couldn't believe it. And I go, I'm going to start my own TV show. So I geared it towards the old variety shows like Jimmy Dean and Dean Martin and Marty Robbins show and these kinds of shows. And I thought, I'm bringing that back. So I had the idea, and then I got to Nashville to record an album. And Kelly, a day or two before that, said, well, come by and see me and let's talk. So I came by and saw her and presented her my idea of the Joey Canyon show, country music variety show. She loved the idea, and she said, well, get me a sizzle reel. And it took me a couple of years before I could put that together, and I did. And then she loved it, like she said, and it was very successful on RFD during that time.
Kelly, are you in Nashville?
I left Nashville about almost 2 years ago. I moved to Biloxi, Mississippi.
Wow.
My dad was in his 80s, and I moved here to spend some time with my dad.
Oh, that's sweet. The only thing I know about Biloxi is it's hot.
It's beautiful. It's slow paced. It's wonderful.
Oh, rad. So you went from the RFD to Mayberry RFD. Joey, are you still in Colorado?
No, I've been in Nashville a little over a year and a half now. I moved here to launch the network. I felt if I was here and part of the community and all these connections that I had, I could start to face with people and get the network to move rather quickly, which it did. So I'm here in actually Hendersonville, northeast of Nashville. So
gotcha. So now we're getting into Canyon Star TV.
Our favorite subject.
Joey and Kelly are both co-founders. Kelly is the president. Joey is the CEO. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm going to assume this was Joey's idea because Kelly's too busy with all this other stuff going on. Or was this an idea together?
When I pulled my TV show from RFD TV,
Well, first, why did you pull it?
because I had the idea and the responsibility to bring family-friendly entertainment back to television. There was a couple other reasons, but that was the main reason. I was kind of like Kelly. I was tired of being controlled by other people and so on. So I said, no, I'm going to start my own television network so I can control things in the right way. So I told Kelly, I said, I'm pulling my show and I'm starting my own television network. And she said, well, I understand. She said, please keep me up to date with that. That's how it started.
Joey, I'm going to ask you a question, and I mean this with all due respect, and it's one of my favorite questions to ask people. What made you think you could start a television network? What made you think you could, man?
Because when I get something in my head, I follow through with it. My faith is very strong. So I knew if I had the good Lord with me, I could do it. But I still remembered what my mom told me as a kid. She said, you can do anything you want. You can be anybody you want to be. And so I always believed her. That subconsciously got into my head. So when I had this idea, I didn't think I couldn't do it.
Wow. And so at that point, you reached out to Kelly and said, hey, remember when I said I wanted to do a thing and you said, get back with me?
I'll let her tell you that story.
The thing is I've built networks.
Notice I didn't ask you that question because that's what you've been doing forever.
Well, I mean, when you're at a network and you have to learn how to do things, that you really don't know, how do you create a news show, 12 to 3 every day that's live? How do you create a Sirius XM channel? It was a great learning launch pad for me. And then when you move on to another network and you're doing completely different programming, lifestyle programming, business programming, and then, getting programming for the OTT platforms. I learned a lot about OTT platforms. Then I started my own company, and then I learned more about OTT platforms, who can build them.
What is an OTT platform? I'm sorry.
Over the top. So it's a Netflix type. That's an easy way to say it.
A streaming network.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I learned how to do it. I learned more and more from people that had platforms. I saw the way the industry was changing, and it for sure is. I mean, it has been changing for a long time. It still is going to change. I think that this is the way people are going to view TV from now on. You're still going to have people who are older that don't quite get it. But I had the connections. And so Joey and I worked together. I connected people that I knew or that he knew, and we did it. And, we set a launch date. And I just started reaching out to people I knew that had programming and said, hey, I'm going to start this network. And, you're not going to make very much money in the beginning, but will you come on? And almost all of them have. I mean, we have almost 700 individual shows.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, and growing day by day. And I wanted to add, because you asked what made you think you could start a television network. Well, I wasn't without a background in production and in music. I had a very extensive background in music and still do, and production. So I knew that part of it. The biggest part for me was learning the systems and exactly what Kelly was saying, learning the OTT platform of live streaming and how to put that puzzle together and how it worked. And so my most important asset is Kelly, because number one, we work so well together. But while we were both learning the OTT stuff, she was practically applying it right away.
Yeah.
Me, I had to put together the team and the systems and corporate stuff and, bringing on Gideo, who Kelly brought in that develops our network online presence. So it wasn't one day I woke up and go, oh, I'm going to do this. I didn't wake up and say, okay, I'm going to be an astronaut and know nothing about it. I have a background in the entertainment industry and production. So I knew how to produce shows. I knew music. I just needed Kelly's expertise to help the network and myself put everything else together and bring in content. So,
gotcha. Thank you for that, backfill. I appreciate that.
You bet.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors. Let's get back into it.
Did you say you have 700 shows?
I think we're at 698 individual shows.
So what does that mean? Does that number include, like, are we talking episodes? We're talking variety shows, documentaries, everything?
Show titles.
Actually, it's over 700 titles.
It could be today. I mean, I counted it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Episodes were, I don't know, 6,000 or 7,000 episodes on here.
Okay, now forgive me because I'm not in the starting a network business, but is there enough time? I guess I mean for programming, like you're going to put 7,000 or whatever episodes and titles and stuff. How many hours are in a week?
Well, I mean, this is the thing is that there's so many different genres. I mean, you can get this on anything that has a screen. So Roku, Google Play, Amazon, get it on your phone. You can get it on your computer. We have an app. You can watch on your phone, your computer, anything with a screen, you can get the network. So the good thing about an OTT platform is that nothing's ever set in stone. You can go in and watch whatever you want, whenever you want. You can binge something if you want to binge it. If you want to just go from place to place, you can. I mean, it's like with any other OTT platform that way. So the point is that we have variety. We have variety, movies, music, entertainment, talk shows, faith programming. The funny thing is that the faith programming has been amazing. That's coming out of the woodwork because there's only a few options for people with faith programming to actually place their show on. So we've given them the opportunity, and we just created a new genre for music videos because you know what? Nobody's doing music videos anymore. These networks, it's all about a TV show. Well, if you want to come on here and watch music videos, one right after the other, you can do that, so that's getting built up. People are starting to come out of the woodwork on that. I'm getting notices on LinkedIn and I'm getting emails at people saying, hey, will you put my music video on? There's no place to put my music video. So everything's growing. And the cool thing is that because it's just Joey and I making decisions, we're able to do whatever we feel like we want to do. So if something pops up, we're like, oh, I didn't think about that. Did you? We can create it. And that's really the fun part because we don't have some big giant corporation telling us what we can and can't do. We're going to do what's successful for the network and for the programmers because ultimately we really want everyone to be successful. And, the only way you do that is to make sure the programmers are happy and you're promoting them and social media wise and press releases and things like that, because we wouldn't be who we are already without these programmers. So they're very important.
Let me add to that. Kelly and I, we have lots of other people that work for us in different capacities, but she's right. She and I run this thing. She and I make the decisions right now. And this is actually the history-making time.
Yes.
These are the times that in a few years from now, Kelly and I will go, remember when we did this? Remember it was just you and I? Because soon we will have a large group of people in-house. It'll take we hope, a better course. But what we're doing right now is very fun for us. We look at it just virtually almost every day and go, wow, look what's going on here. Look what we're doing.
Really are proud of ourselves. I mean, we really are.
humbly proud of ourselves.
I mean, it's been a lot of work, but it's been really fun at the same time.
It's watching a baby grow. It really is.
For sure.
Kelly and Joey, I want to apologize for that last question I asked when I was like, oh, where's all the time? Is there enough hours in the day? I was equating it to like ABC or something where, there's just something on right after the other, right after the other.
Well, that's linear television, broadcast TV.
Right. And so I apologize. And you did already specifically say that it's more along the lines of a Netflix or an Amazon or something. So
yeah, but that's not to say that we won't have a fast channel, which is a new thing. We may do that, and probably we will. Then we'll be on regular TV, and we'll see. I mean,
let me give you another example, Steve, of that. When I go to produce a show, could even be my show, okay, and mine is an hour show. which in broadcast television, that's 44 minutes of real time. The rest is commercials. Well, now that I'm getting ready to start my show up again, I could run literally 60 minutes. It doesn't matter. And we could put the commercials in there still. We don't have to go from 6 in the evening to 7 in the evening and be right on. That's broadcast television. So we have the luxury of producing short or long or right in the middle. Doesn't matter.
For instance, is we have Undercover Jet Setter is a show, and Undercover Jet Setter travels around. They eat, they look at the cities, they have a great time, and they have these little shorts, and they're just little shorts on how to cook something. What kind of wine do you drink with this? The availability to have people who have short little vignettes that don't really have a place for them to go. We can do that, and we have some. We love that. So that's one of those things that we're able to do that a regular television network cannot do. That's good for us.
And two things that are very important, Steve. You can put your whole family in front of the television and have no fear of questionable programming.
Yeah.
Okay. We are family friendly.
Is that one of the reasons that you did it? Is because there's kind of a lack of a family?
Absolutely. Yes. We have a safe haven for families.
Got you. So everything on your channel is going to be family friendly?
Yeah. Everything on our network is.
Network, thank you. Sorry.
Friendly. Yes.
Okay, so what are some of my different genres? I mean, I know there's family-oriented stuff. Do you have movies? Do you have documentaries?
Yeah.
I know you mentioned music. What else you got? What are the categories?
We have movies. We have TV documentaries for music. We have animal programming, a lot of cooking programming, a lot of entertainment. Entertainment can be anything from Joey Canyon Show to Shotgun Red to we have all the Billy Bob's shows.
Billy Bob's, yeah.
Don't air anyplace else. We have lifestyle programming. We have music programming. We have concerts, music videos, faith programming, kids programming, talk shows, outdoor programming, health and fitness. I need some gardening. So if you know anybody who has gardening shows, we have sports and adventure programming, travel and leisure, some business programming. We've also started putting on people who have radio shows. We've started putting radio shows on, and we've also started putting podcasts on in case if you're interested in doing that. But we have rural programming, some veteran programming, history, and we have art and classic TV. So we have a lot of good classic TV like Ozzie and Harriet. We have classic TV comedy, The Lucy Show, Red Skelton, Betty White. We have classic Westerns, Bonanza, Roy Rogers, Lone Ranger. And then we have some Westerns with, some of the biggest stars, Gene Autry, John Wayne, Tex Ritter, a lot of movies from those guys. We have some stuff from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And we have a lot of Christmas programming, really good stuff. And one of the things that's interesting that we put the big bands, 30, 40s, and more. So there's a lot of really great music in there. An old Showtime at the Apollo, the Rock and Roll Review. There's some stuff in here from years ago in the 30s with Eartha Kitt and Cab Calloway, Billie Holiday. Those were just amazing videos because those are hard things to come by, but we're connected. And then we have a lot of old newsreels too. I mean, we have a lot of stuff. And every day I have more and more and more on here. Got Paula Dean, who I love. We have some great stuff on here. And I think there's something for everybody.
Putting all of this together, that's where all of your experience and your contacts and your networking comes in for both of you guys?
I think you can say that, sure.
Now, you did mention you're looking for certain things. Is there a place where people listening can say, oh, wait a minute, I have a gardening show or I've got a radio show or whatever? How would they submit that to you guys?
Well, first of all, we have a criteria. It has to be family friendly. And what do I mean by that? No bad language, no sexual situations, no horror, no gore, just no compromising situations you don't want children to see. That's a first and foremost criteria. Second is production quality. They could have the greatest show, but if they don't shoot it with a high-res camera or it doesn't look right to us, we don't want to put substandard quality on the network. Third, Kelly and I get together and go, it's a real big committee, and well, here's how we make decision. Do you like it? Yeah, I like it. Okay, yeah, I like it too. There you go.
That's true. That is true. I have turned some stuff away. You just have to do that sometimes if you want to make sure that it looks good. I mean, there's a few things that are older that we have on here, like Justin Wilson. I moved to Biloxi, and the guy who has all the Justin Wilson stuff is in Biloxi.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes it's just a fluke. That footage is not going to change. It's old. He has passed away. There's not even very many good pictures of him out there. So, you have some stuff, but some of it is what it is. But it's still good.
Yeah.
So again, we're talking about Canyon Star TV, which is an app or a channel or a network, whatever you want to call it. It's an OTT. I just learned that today, guys. It is available on Roku and Chrome, all the places where you get all the things. If you can get Netflix, you can get Canyon Star TV.
Yes.
Now, this launched January of 2023. Is that right?
January 27th. Yes.
Why the name Canyon Star TV?
Because I ran this by Kelly as soon as I thought about it. I like my name and all of that. And I thought, okay, this is going to be really, if you want to call it an Americana lifestyle type of network, okay, with everything in it. And so I thought, okay, Canyon, okay. So I thought of my name, and I forget what else I was thinking about where I came up with the star, but I just thought Canyon and Star. It originally, the parent company is Canyon Star Network, but we do business as Canyon Star TV. So I called Kelly and I said, what do you think about Canyon Star Network? This was over 5 years ago. She says, I love it. So it was born. Just a few years ago, we decided to change to Canyon Star TV as the presence online.
Now, Kelly, when you got that phone call, did you say...
She said, oh, no, not him again.
Did you say, Joey, well, I was really thinking Kantz Star TV.
You know what I got to say? I often think I could do my own network, of course, but I would never call it Kantz myself. I think Canyon Star is great. I think it just sounds good. And I like the idea of it being a star because you can use a star in so many ways on, lower thirds or whatever. It just visually, it looks good like that.
It sounds like the bulk of the work to get this thing live happens kind of all at the end. That's just how all projects are, right? Things gradually build up, and then right at the end, there's this huge push and there's a whole bunch of stuff to do. How did COVID affect all of that, getting the network put together?
It didn't. And I have to tell you, listen, a lot of stuff came out of COVID that was bad for a lot of people, but a lot of things were good for people because people had to figure out how to make a living. People had to figure out how to do things, which created more podcasts. It created more radio shows. It created more small person learning how to create TV shows. So, while it was negative, I think it was really an interesting way that people tried to figure out how to live. A lot of stuff was produced and came alive during that time that probably never would have happened if there wasn't COVID.
Necessity is the mother of invention. So it's exactly what happened.
Do either one of you know who is the father of invention? I'm just curious.
The father of I can take a guess.
Okay, go ahead.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Sure, why not? I have no idea. I was just curious.
Check him out.
I love it. I'm gonna go with that one because I don't have a better answer. And that dude was rad.
He invented so many things. You'll be astounded.
No, you'll be astounded. He invented a helicopter. That's crazy.
Well, that's correct.
I know. That's nuts.
So info@canyonstar.tv. If you have anybody that has interest in wanting to add programming.
It's contact@canyonstar.tv.
And that's if people want to submit or have questions or anything like that. It's just contact@canyonstar.tv.
Yeah.
Canyonstar.tv.
See, look, I'm messing it up too, man.
Yeah, we're not a .com. We're a .tv.
We're a .tv.
Yeah.
That's going to be your slogan. So you're going to have T-shirts that say Canyon Star TV. We're .tv.
Yeah.
Tell me 3 things, Kelly, as far as programming that you think are really going to knock off the socks of everybody listening?
Listen, I have a show called Hidden Heritage. It's one of my very favorite shows on the network. It is worth taking a look at. It's the story about a man whose parents died. He had been adopted in Minnesota, and he was one of the Native Americans who was taken as a baby and adopted off. And after his parents died, they were going through the attic. His wife found his adoption papers. He never knew he was Native American. He knew he was adopted, but he found out he was Native American, and they found his family. And it is a show about the discovery of, you think you're this, and all of a sudden you find out you're this. And how do you blend those together? It's beautiful. They have a band called Brule, which is Native American music. And it's, I don't know, I find it really a touching show.
Very
you know, I really love that show. I have a sports show on here that I think is fantastic too. It's called From Glory Days. And I love it because Kurt interviews people on this show. His name's Kurt David. He interviews sports figures that made a lot of money. And years later, how do you still have money? Did you blow it all? Did you spend it all? What did you do to keep the money and be successful? And it's interviews with famous sports figures and how they have succeeded in this life after sports was over. So I love that one too. That's a real good one.
Nice. Joey, give me a couple. What are your tops? Get me excited.
Well, I'm very blessed that the highest ratings of the network is my TV show. So I kind of like that guy.
What's that called? Is that called the Joey Canyon Show?
It is.
How did you come up with that name? I'm just kidding.
It took me a long time. It just came to me, and it was a revelation.
You called Kelly, and she was like, well, I was going to call it the Kelly Kantz Show, but okay.
Yeah, exactly. So that I'm very blessed with that. I truly am. There's 39 episodes for you to watch. And then, it's really with the fun part that Kelly and I do, bringing on content every day. It's the flavor of the day. I mean, she'll call me and say, hey, guess what I've got? So I go and look at it, and that's my favorite. And then this is my favorite. But I have to say that it's the variety, because I really like classic television. I love Ozzie and Harriet. I like Dragnet. I like these kinds of shows. I really love our faith category, so those are favorites. Believe me, cooking shows are so much fun. And of course, Brule, I really, really like. But other than Prejudice being my show, I can't give you, every day is different, Steve. And I'm glad that it is, that I could change every day almost.
Nice. I'm not going to ask about favorites, but you did mention that there's some concerts. Throw some names at me. Whose concerts you got on there?
I have a Portraits of Colorado show, and it's a symphony show. It's fantastic. And then I have Brule, and I have more coming. So concerts is going to grow, but the Brule is really great. They're live at Mount Rushmore, right there in front of Mount Rushmore. It's
very cool. You got to watch that.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You got to watch it.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. Here's a bizarre question, maybe. Where on social media can people go to follow and find out more about Canyon Star TV? Do you guys have social media?
Oh, big time. You can go to Canyon Star TV on Facebook,
Instagram,
LinkedIn.
Yep.
Those are the three biggies that we use. Uh-huh.
So, Joey, are you dancing on TikTok?
No. No TikTok.
Kelly, Joey, have I missed anything? Did we cover everything? Like, is there anything we didn't talk about or I didn't ask you about that you specifically wanted to talk about today?
I don't know. I think you did pretty good, Joey. You think you missed anything?
Yeah, I think he did pretty good too. For his first time, that's pretty good.
I think really on all of this stuff, I think that, TV anymore, you pull it up and you're not really, there's so much negative stuff all the time in this world. And it's kind of fun to build something that isn't negative. You know what I mean? Like every program is positive. And that's something that I think both Joey and I are really proud of. And I think anybody who hears your show give us a chance. Come on, sign up. And you got to just put your email in and a password. It's free. There's no charge to watch the network. Take a chance with some of these programmers that, are really pretty great folks. Joey and I were really clear we weren't going to work with anybody that was a pain, basically. And we've picked wonderful, wonderful people. They have helped promote the network, and we're really proud of them for helping promote and providing great programming for people who are going to come on board and watch. And so, I'd like for your people, come on.
We want people to go on to Canyon Star TV, Steve, and be part of our family. We want them to know that when they go there, they're with us and they're proud to be with us. And that star up there, that Canyon Star TV with the star up there, that's not us, that's them.
Yeah.
They all can be a star because I want them to feel like they're a star with us.
So the star is the community.
That's correct.
Now, you guys are talking about the lack of kind of family-friendly programming. I want to punctuate that, actually, by telling you a little story. There was a TV show that was on a major network, regular broadcast network, available to the masses. It was on for, I don't know, like 11 seasons or something. I think it was called Friends. I don't know if you guys have watched Friends recently, but my wife and I started rewatching it again, and I was blown away at how unfamily friendly that show was. And that was just a regular TV show that the entire country watched every week. It's just amazing that, like, the storylines and some of the subject matter. I just like pause and I look at my wife and I'm like, oh my gosh, this was just on regular TV. Like, what in the heck? Now, they didn't say bad words, but the subject matter and some of the storylines, you're just like, what?
It's the innuendo and everything. And you make a very valid point, because way back then when that was going on, that was broadcast television. I don't know, one of the three bigs, big ones. They let that in. And that was the beginning of the end, because from there it followed more. And then it got more provocative as the years went by. And then more and more. Then it started getting graphic and so on. And now it doesn't have to be broadcast. You can go to streaming networks, and you know which ones they are out there, that you look at it and you wonder, how is that able to be out there?
Even for the commercials these days.
Oh, goodness gracious. The commercials, you're so right, Kelly. But let me not point the finger here. People have the right to go watch whatever they want to, okay? If you don't like it, you can change the channel.
It's about choices.
It's about choices, and you can do the choices you want. We just want people to know that Canyon Star TV is a choice for your family, and it's friendly, and that's what you'll get. And you know what? If you don't like us, you can change us too. But I think you're going to like us. So.
Well, I couldn't ask for a better pitch and a great note to go out on. Co-founders of Canyon Star TV, CEO Joey Canyon, President Kelly Kantz. Thank you both so much for taking the time out of your busy day and your hectic programming like crazy schedule to hang out and let us get to know you a little bit better and to help us get to know a little bit more about Canyon Star TV. I really appreciate both of your times, and you guys have a great rest of your week. This is going to be amazing. I'm so excited to go put this on all of my TVs right now.
Steve, thank you. We're glad, both of us, we're glad to be with you today, truly.
Thank you so much.
The pleasure was all mine, and y'all have a great rest of your week.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Bye-bye, guys. Opening music is the song FSP Theme, written, performed, and provided by Ambush Vin. Closing music is from the song Say My Name off the 2021 album Underdog Anthems, used with permission from Jax Hollow. If you like the show, tell a friend. Subscribe and rate and review the show on iTunes and wherever else you download podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. All the episodes are available there as well. Check me out on Vero at Fascination Street Pod and TikTok at Fascination Street Pod. And again, Thanks for listening.